A Fox News host bent logic into pretzels to try to continue pushing the idea that the Biden regime's DOJ is protecting Hunter Biden after he was just indicted for the second time. Well, this is wild. I have a clip for you of Maria Bartiromo continuing to push the conspiracy theory that there's some vast scheme going on to cover up Joe Biden's crimes that don't exist and to protect Hunter Biden. And it's legitimately hilarious watching her and the contributors she brought on distorting logic in a pretty brutal fashion to make that case, because they're discussing the fact that Hunter Biden was just indicted for a second time, this time for tax evasion. And just to be super clear, because of all the right-wing conspiracy theories about Joe Biden, this has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It is Hunter Biden. And it was done by the very DOJ that Fox News tries to say is protecting Hunter Biden and going easy on him. And what you're going to hear in the clip that I'll play, Maria Bartiromo and the contributor, what they're trying to assert is that somehow there's this complex stunt going on, I guess, by the DOJ and by the left and the deep state to cover up Joe Biden's crimes by indicting Hunter Biden, but they're still protecting Hunter Biden by indicting him. It's very strange, which is also funny to hear at this particular moment coming from someone on Fox News, because we'll get to also in this segment, finally, a Fox News reporter admitting, yeah, Republicans got nothing on Joe Biden. No evidence of corruption. Obviously, we know that, but Fox News doesn't seem to know it. So lots to get into in this segment. Before playing the clip from Maria Bartiromo's show, I do have to fill you in on lots of context in terms of the news that they'll be responding to. Here's this from CNN. Hunter Biden has been charged in connection with a long-running Justice Department investigation into his taxes, the second criminal case the special counsel David Weiss has brought against President Joe Biden's son. The charges span 9 counts, including failure to file and pay taxes, evasion of assessment, and false or fraudulent tax return. According to the special counsel's team, Hunter Biden engaged in a 4-year scheme to not pay at least $1.4 million in taxes that he owed from 2016 through 2019. Though Hunter Biden did eventually pay his taxes from 2018, prosecutors alleged that he included false business deductions in order to evade assessment of taxes to reduce the substantial tax liabilities he faced. The president's son, quote, spent millions of dollars on an extravagant lifestyle rather than paying his tax bills, according to the indictment, which states that between 2016 and October 15th, 2020, the defendant spent this money on drugs, escorts and girlfriends, luxury hotels and rental properties, exotic cars, clothing, and other items of a personal nature. In short, everything but his taxes. So look at that. Hunter Biden broke the law. Even Joe Biden's DOJ is prosecuting him for it. And obviously this spans over the period of time that both Hunter and Joe have pretty openly acknowledged was pretty rough for Hunter. He's lived a troubled life, struggled with drug addiction, all these different things. And if there were crimes along the way, hold him accountable for it. You see Republicans, how easy that can be? People on the left don't desperately and dishonestly defend someone just because their last name is Biden. Oh, how I wish you could do the same thing with people whose last names are Trump. And also lately, whether it be Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, the stuff that's going on with Mayor Eric Adams or Hunter Biden here. Law and order is what I say. It's really that simple. Do you guys remember when right-wingers used to say that phrase? I will note, though, it seems compared to other similar cases as it pertains to the Hunter Biden case, very contrary to the right-wing narrative, Hunter Biden is likely being treated more aggressively than you'd expect by the DOJ, again, compared to similar cases. That fact gets touched on in this report on Chris Hayes' show.
About some other legal news that we just got, which is that the president's son, Hunter Biden, who's already been charged, who had charges brought against him by a prosecutor in Delaware. It looked like they were going to come to a plea agreement. The judge in that rejected that plea months ago. We went back to square one. That U.S. attorney was elevated to be a special prosecutor who's now brought some felony charges against him for a felony in possession of a gun. We got new News tonight that there are additional tax charges, 3 federal felony tax charges against Hunter Biden. These are coming out of a California district. I think that's probably where he was living at the time. Failure to file and pay taxes, evasion of assessment, false or fraudulent tax return, failure to file and pay taxes. Your thoughts on that?
I think this has been somewhat of a debacle for the Justice Department and the special prosecution. It really looks like they're punishing him for their messy plea bargaining ability and the failure to resolve it. With this kind of a tax charge, and we're not talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in evasion, the fact that he had already paid it back, that usually will absolve the person of the criminal charges here. But these charges were not unexpected. The plea fell apart, so theoretically, everything that you were trying to resolve with the plea comes back.
So it looks like Hunter Biden may be getting treated worse than someone who did the same things but didn't have the last name Biden. Maybe not, and regardless, I'm happy to see the law upheld. With that context in mind, you just saw a fact-based analysis on Chris Hayes' show of the situation. Here's the Fox News version.
I know, but is it not true that the IRS, the FBI, the DOJ knew all of this now for a long time? They've been sitting on this potential indictment. Why do they release it now, 3 days before Hunter Biden is expected to testify behind closed doors for even bigger crimes, and that is influence peddling and money laundering and bribery? Does this now stop him, prevent him from testifying on Wednesday, and is this a further cover-up?
I don't know the reasons for the timing of the Department of Justice. Hopefully, we are actually in a position to provide more insight to the American people. It would be incredibly frustrating if this is a move by the DOJ to simply stonewall Congress trying to get the answers for the American people. At the end of the day, the American people deserve to know the answer about the business dealings of the Biden administration, but really it's whether or not the president was trading favors in the benefit of the family business dealings. They're arguing that.
So need I say that was a bunch of nonsense? She says, Maria Bartiromo says that Hunter Biden's about to testify about, quote, even bigger crimes, end quote. No, he's about to testify in front of a ridiculous committee that has made a gazillion baseless accusations against Joe Biden. That's actually what's happening. And they've set up this perfect situation. You all know if you watch the show because I cover it extensively, but every single week, according to Republicans in the House and Fox News, there's some huge story about the Biden investigation. So then anytime anything happens, they say, oh, why was that timed that way? Because it's very close to what was going to be a bombshell in the investigation. But you have a bombshell like every 2 days, according to you. Every time Trump has been indicted, people in right-wing media have said that timing's suspicious because it happened right around when a big bombshell was revealed in the Biden investigation. I'll note that these bombshells are never actual bombshells. The last one, for example, that they called a smoking gun was $4,000 Hunter paid to Joe to reimburse him for a truck that Joe helped buy when Hunter was low on money. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? But regardless, every time anything happens, it's a strategically timed ploy, according to them, to distract from the real bombshells James Comer has been revealing. It's rather ridiculous. You may have forgotten, as a crazy example of this, there were right-wingers saying the same thing about the Titan submersible, saying that the timing of this seems suspicious and maybe it's being used to distract from the Biden investigation. Everything isn't about Hunter Biden, okay, Republicans? That's my message to you today. Now, when I say Republicans don't have any evidence of all of these wild allegations they're throwing the way of Joe Biden, you might think, well, yeah, of course you'd say that, Luke, because you think Joe Biden's had a really effective presidency. Well, here is a Fox News reporter, Peter Doocy, admitting it.
The House Oversight Committee has been at this for years, and they have so far not been able to provide any concrete evidence that Joe Biden personally profited from his son Hunter's overseas business, but they are going to try again with this impeachment inquiry that's set to start next week. Stu.
Peter, thanks very much indeed. See you again soon.
That was a rare 19 seconds of Fox News that was actually completely accurate. Number one, Republicans haven't been able to find evidence. And the second part, they're damn sure going to keep trying to find something that doesn't exist. In the meantime, even while tons of Republicans and Fox News reporters now are admitting they don't have the evidence, Republicans will be running around just blatantly lying, saying Joe Biden was bribed and we've been able to prove it. It's rather deranged. The other thing I want to play for you while we're on the subject of Hunter Biden is a moment from a recent podcast conversation, a rare public statement from Hunter Biden. And he actually accurately diagnoses what this Republican obsession with him is really about. Also take note of, as you're listening to this, how similar Hunter Biden's voice is to Joe Biden's voice when he was younger.
Recognizing your resentments and trying to let them go. That's the way that I do it. The way that I do it is, number one, I recognize that none of this is necessarily about me. They are trying to, in their most illegitimate way, but rational way, they're trying to destroy a presidency. And so it's not about me. In their most base way, what they're trying to do is they're trying to kill me, knowing that it will be a pain greater than my father could be able to handle. And so therefore destroying a presidency in that way. And so I realized that it's not about me. And then the second thing that I realized is that these people are just sad, very, very sick people that have most likely just faced traumas in their lives that they've decided that they are going to turn into an evil that they decide that they're going to inflict on the rest of the world.
And that's it. Republicans know that their way to hurting Joe Biden is by going after Hunter Biden. And Hunter Biden admittedly is an easy target because he does have that troubled past, but they'll do anything. Marjorie Greene showing revenge porn of Hunter on national TV, for example, to get to Joe Biden through Hunter Biden. It's pretty sick. And maybe one day, this is just a dream, but sometimes I think maybe one day Republicans will look back at all this and have some regret, realize, oh my goodness, Joe Biden was actually a really solid president. He got a bunch of stuff done, clearly wasn't corrupt, otherwise we would have found it. And we did everything we possibly could to ruin him. Was it really worth it? The answer is no. One other bonus clip here is the same Maria Bartiromo having to report on yet another incredible month of job growth.
Overall, you got to look at this report as a big positive. We've got more jobs created than expected. Joe LaVorne, you've been saying this for a long time, saying that the economy is a lot stronger than anybody understands. Your reaction?
It takes a while. Everything Steve said makes complete sense. The numbers are good numbers, no question. The fact that the unemployment rate fell is good. It was because household employment was up over 700,000.
Biden came into office in the middle of a crisis. Now we're here. Jobs numbers consistently good for I don't even know how many months and years. Unemployment low. Inflation 0 last month. An economic recovery better than all of the comparable economies post-pandemic. Maybe one day someone will give him credit. Before we go, don't forget to become a member at lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. What does that do for you? You might be asking. Well, it makes you feel so good about supporting the work that's being done here, but also you get exclusive content, the bonus show Monday through Friday. Plus follow me on Threads at Luke Beasley Official, Instagram at Luke Beasley Official, X at Luke P. Beasley, and sign up for the Beasley Brief, a daily morning newsletter that summarizes the previous day's events by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/brief. And I'll talk to you all next time.